I left the hospital doors behind, but my thoughts keep wandering back to every silent beep. They said I'm healed, but my body feels like a stranger wearing my skin. Home should feel comforting, but it feels like a waiting room for the unknown. The hospital is gone, but its shadows trail me into every quiet corner. They released me, but the fear inside me feels like it's breathing harder than I am. I feel the world moving forward while I'm stuck replaying alarms and whispered warnings. They told me I'm fine, but the ache inside my chest says otherwise. My body is free, but my mind is still tangled in sterile sheets and monitors. Leaving the hospital should have felt like victory, but it tastes bitter on my tongue. Every sound at home feels amplified, each creak a reminder that I'm still fragile. They handed me freedom, but I carry a quiet panic that no one notices. My heart beats fast, not with excitement, but with a lingering sense of dread. They said recovery is complete, yet every movement feels like walking on glass. The world outside is bright, but inside me, shadows linger like uninvited guests. They released me, but the weight in my chest hasn't left with the IV lines. My steps feel cautious, measured, as if the ground could crumble beneath me. Freedom feels strange when your instincts are still trapped in sterile halls. They told me to rest, but rest is impossible when fear sits beside you. I should feel relief, but every heartbeat echoes uncertainty and doubt. Home is quiet, too quiet, like it's hiding secrets only I can sense. They released me, but every reflection in the mirror feels like a warning. My mind replays the hospital lights like a movie I can't pause or escape. They handed me life, but I feel like I left part of it behind. Every shadow at home seems alive, watching, waiting for me to falter. They said I'm healthy, but my body still whispers stories of battles unfinished. I smile at strangers, nod at friends, but inside, my heart is still pacing. They released me, yet my chest feels heavy with a warning I cannot ignore. Home feels fragile, like stepping on glass that could cut me at any moment. My body is free, but my mind is tethered to fluorescent lights and alarms. They told me I'm okay, but the fear of the unknown clings to me like a shadow. I should feel normal, but every sound, every step feels strangely foreign. They released me, but the echoes of my illness still hum beneath my skin. Home should heal, but it only amplifies the quiet tension inside me. I feel alive, but alive in a way that trembles with doubt and caution. They sent me back, but I still hear the whisper of the hospital corridors. My heart is racing, yet everything seems still, silent, almost too quiet. They said I'm fine, but intuition doesn't lie, and mine is screaming. Leaving should feel like victory, but it feels like stepping into uncertainty. The hospital is gone, but its memory lingers, wrapped around my chest like chains. My body moved forward, but my instincts stayed behind in sterile silence. They released me, yet my soul is pacing the corridors I left behind. Every corner of my home feels unfamiliar, like it's waiting for something I can't name. They said recovery is done, but my mind is still caught in the fight. Freedom is heavy when fear rides alongside every heartbeat. They handed me my life back, but I'm still learning how to trust it. Home feels safer, but only superficially. My chest knows the truth. I left the hospital, but its echoes are stitched into my every step. They said I'm okay, yet every muscle, every thought trembles with caution. The world outside is moving, but I feel suspended, waiting for something unseen. They released me, but the sense of being watched lingers like an invisible shadow. My body is free, but my instincts are alert, scanning, anticipating danger. Every quiet moment feels loaded, as if time is holding its breath. They told me it's over, but my soul knows battles are rarely finished quietly. Home is mine again, but the hospital left invisible scars that whisper, I should feel relief, but relief feels impossible when intuition hums warnings. They sent me out, but every heartbeat reminds me that freedom is fragile. The world smiles, but I walk carefully, unsure if I belong. They released me, yet the weight of uncertainty presses harder than any IV drip. My mind is restless, replaying alarms and shadows as if I had never left. Freedom feels incomplete when your body walks alone, but your instincts stay behind. They sent me home with a smile, but inside, every step feels heavier than before. I walked out of the hospital doors, but the silence around me feels louder than any monitor. Everyone says I'm fine, but my body whispers stories I'm not ready to hear. They released me, yet every shadow in my room reminds me that healing is more than skin deep. I thought leaving the hospital meant freedom, but fear seems to have checked in before me. The nurses told me I'm okay, yet my heart beats with a warning I cannot ignore. They handed me papers and prescriptions, but nothing prepared me for the emptiness waiting at home. I left the sterile lights behind, but the heaviness inside me followed without permission. Freedom smells different when your body refuses to trust it yet. The world outside looks normal, but my soul knows the fight is far from over. Every step feels uncertain, as if the hospital walls were protecting me from an invisible storm. I was released, but my mind is still hooked on the hospital's fluorescent memories. Something feels wrong, not illness, not pain, but a strange, unsettling quiet that won't leave. They sent me back to life, but I feel like I left pieces of myself behind in the hospital bed. My body left the hospital, but my fears never checked out. The room I walked into feels too still, too calm, like the world is holding its breath. I smile and nod at friends, but inside, I wonder what they don't see, what they can't hear. They told me to rest, but rest feels impossible when intuition screams danger. My feet move forward, but my instincts are glued to the hospital floor. They released me, but my reflection in the mirror doesn't recognize the person standing there. I carry the hospital with me in my chest, heavy and silent. Everyone expects gratitude, but I feel an unshakable tension instead. The air at home tastes different, thicker, heavier, like it's hiding something. They said, "You're healed," but my thoughts feel raw, bruised, and unfinished. Freedom feels strange when your body is free, but your mind is trapped. The hospital is behind me, but its echoes follow me like shadows. They released me, but I'm still tethered to a place I thought I left forever. My room feels smaller than ever, suffocating, though nothing has changed. They handed me keys to life, but I feel locked out from myself. I walk through my day, but a quiet dread keeps my senses sharp and alert. They sent me home, but every heartbeat reminds me I'm not whole. The world outside the hospital feels unreal, like a dream I'm not allowed to wake from. I smile, nod, and pretend, but inside, I'm counting every strange feeling, every unfamiliar ache. I was released, but the fear of relapse is heavier than any IV drip. The walls of my home feel too close, too quiet, as if waiting for me to stumble. They told me everything is fine, but intuition knows better than anyone. My steps echo too loudly in the empty rooms, reminding me of every beep I've left behind. I should feel relief, but instead, I feel a creeping uncertainty I cannot name. They released me, but the sense of being watched, being changed, won't leave. My heart whispers secrets my doctors never heard, secrets only I can feel. I left the hospital, but my body remembers the fight it didn't finish. The world outside feels brittle, fragile, like it could break with one wrong move. They sent me home, but the peace I expected is missing, replaced with questions I cannot answer. My chest rises and falls, but something heavy presses down I cannot escape. The air at home should feel safe, but my lungs taste caution. They released me, yet every instinct in my body screams. That release doesn't mean recovery. I smile at loved ones, but inside, my mind wanders down corridors I cannot leave behind. Freedom feels foreign when your senses are still attached to machines and alarms. They told me healing is a process, but they didn't warn me about the fear waiting after. I walk past mirrors, hoping to recognize myself, but all I see is uncertainty reflected back. They released me, but the room I left is still alive in my memory. Every step outside the hospital feels measured, cautious, like a soldier returning from battle. They handed me prescriptions, but my heart carries a weight no medicine can cure. I should be grateful, but gratitude feels impossible when something unseen lingers. My body is free, but my soul still walks hospital halls at night. They released me, yet the feeling of being incomplete follows me like a shadow. I smile at life, but my mind is stuck replaying hospital lights and sounds. The world moves on, but I move slower, listening to every silent warning. They told me I'm safe, but I cannot shake the sense that safety is an illusion. Home is supposed to heal, but something inside me knows the fight isn't over yet.